Morning, everybody. This is Thursday. I want to make sure I'm pausing this. Well, this is episode 1 of Alive. I'm just trying to test it out because I've been working on Rumble Live for the past few weeks, and Monday through Friday on Rumble. So definitely want to push you guys over there. But huge announcement from the Whitehouse that, let's say, podcasters, YouTubers, and other normal media are being welcomed into the White House now. So I got to be where you guys are. And if you guys don't know me, I guess I'll do a little bit of an introduction here. This is my first time doing a live on here, so I'm not sure. It looks like it's starting the right way. So let's see if it keeps going the right way that I want it to. And I didn't have too much of an agenda other than just press and go and make this sucker work. And you're going to catch me catching myself because this is YouTube. I'm trying not to throw out my my veteran lingo, which, if you know what I mean. So this is so anyway. But if you guys don't know me, please get to know me on Rumble. I go live every weekday, Monday through Friday, usually around half an hour, sometimes a little bit less, sometimes more. And so let me tell you a little bit about who I am since I'm here, and you're watching this. So my name is Albert, and I am a veteran, a combat veteran. I was in the infantry in the Army in the late 90s over in Germany. I got medically discharged in 2000. 9/11 happened when I was in college. And long story short, I just kept on trying. I got told no by the government a lot of times, tried to go back in as a Green Beret and got told no even before that. And so, yes, I've heard no from the government a lot of times. Long story short, just kept on pushing and applied to be a helicopter pilot out of Houston area into the Army. They call it street to seat. And I don't want to say I got denied. I just didn't get picked up at that time. So I just kept pushing and went down further south. And in Corpus Christi, there's an ROTC group down there. So I was like, all right, I'm in charge of my own life. That's how I feel. And so, and I always want to give kudos to the recruiting captain, because he said he hated his title because leaders don't need to be recruited. They just find a way to lead. So I'm making sure I give him kudos, because I hope that really does sink in with you guys, because well, I'll get to it in a minute. I got to tee up who I am and what I've done first, so I give you a little bit more credibility here. So if you don't know me, so I did a couple years there in ROTC, got selected. I got commissioned, got selected to be a medevac pilot. And so most people don't know this, but medevac pilots are commissioned pilots, like the lieutenants and captains. We are medical service corps officers, not aviation officers. So most people don't know that. So we have a different application process. I was selected only 1 of 12 to be a medevac pilot, and we go through medical service corps, OBC out of San Antonio, captain's career course out of San Antonio, stuff like that. And I'm not going to get into great details of like what the career path is supposed to be, because that all got thrown out the window once Afghanistan and Iraq started. So, but I did. I went over to 3rd ID after flight school and joined them right after they got back from 15 months in Iraq. We did a year before we went to Afghanistan, and I went to Afghanistan in 09 and 10, 13 months. The first half of my deployment was out of Jalalabad. And so my area was going up into like Korengal Valley and stuff like that. So I did everything from hoist missions in Korengal Valley all the way down to, then the latter half of my tour was in Ghazni and Shank, further south. And I did a lot of the craziest dust landings you've ever seen along Highway 1. My point to telling you that is, although my show is not about, I'm one of those guys who's been there and done that, and I want to tell war stories all the time. I'm a guy who's been there and done that, and I care enough to have done that stuff. I care enough to be on camera and be uncomfortable talking to you guys and telling you about some real things that you need to know, okay? And those real things are, let's get into it. So since getting out of the Army, I got out of a 10-year overall, 16-year period. 6-year gap in service, and got out as a captain. And again, I'm skipping over a lot of stuff because I don't think you need to know about it. What you need to know is for the past 6 years, I have been a for-profit helping you guys get your money that you've earned through your service. And I'm a for-profit because I call it yes and money. Yes and. Yes, you do qualify for what the VA calls 100%. Yes, you do qualify, yes, and for property tax reduction, removal. Yes, and there's 3 levels of money. So there's right now money, mid-range money for your kids in college, long-range death benefit money I help get you guys squared away with. So my clients start with me and stay with me for years, because you just never know when there's going to be either a nasty letter from the government or a nice letter from the government. And you guys come to me as a consultant. So let me show you this. I'm like a boxing ring here. Boxing ring analogy. I'm a consultant who is outside the ring. So I'm not a representative. When you work with me, you have a team, but I am not the representative. You have a veterans rights attorney that I can help get you guided with, and they will be your representative. The VA and well, let me back up to my boxing analogy here. So I'm outside the ring, and what I do with my clients is every time you guys do something, because there's all kinds of money out there for you, and the VA calls it, now they call it disability, but the original letters for it or words for it were compensation and pension. So when you go to an exam, what do they call it? They call it a CMP exam, comp pen exam, compensation and pension exam. And by the way, this is being recorded. So if you're like, holy crap, what do you say? Well, just rewind it and listen, because I talk fast sometimes to just lay the groundwork and get on to the topic. So I'm telling you, this is massively important. So every time that you do anything with the government, there's a packet. You want to go to flight school? Packet. Jump school? Packet. Be a lawyer? Packet. Anytime you want to do something, there's a packet, right? Same thing with money. So every time, this is my prop that I always bring out for you guys. Every time you guys want to get to your money, that's a big check with your money on it, you have to go through compliant paperwork with the government at the minimum of whatever they're asking for. And most people forget, but the federal government, guys, remember this, FMs and stuff like that, field manuals, are all written at the 8th grade reading level. Now, I've worked with over 3,000 clients of mine, mostly special operators, and I've delivered over $10 billion to you guys. And don't let that throw you off and be like, oh, Albert must be a meanie or whatever. No, I just care enough to be here. And I care enough to have tough conversations with you. And I care enough to be, again, outside of the ring and just guiding you through. And I love this boxing analogy because you're guaranteed to win. It's your money. You just may have to go through 15 rounds and may go to whatever they call it at the end when it goes to judgment or something. But it's your money. And you have to, every time that you go out there and you might get a couple licks in, you might get a couple licks on your face. Every round, anytime something happens, I host events. I'm on camera almost, on average 5 times a day. And now this is another one. So yeah, 5 or 6 times a day, Monday through Friday. And I'm not a camera hog, by the way. So every time something happens, you got to come back to your corner and talk to your team. That's me. With me, you're not alone. With all these other entities out there, I don't know them well, but I don't hear the same stuff that I hear from my clients. So I'm just saying, I've been here 6 years, before COVID, during COVID, after COVID, before PACT Act, during PACT Act, after PACT Act. I've seen a lot of shit. I knew I was going to get caught. See, that's why I try not to cuss on here, but that's not too bad of a word. So I don't think YouTube will kill me for that one. That's what I'm trying not to do, is to get kicked off YouTube. So make sure if you ever hear this thing go and head over to Rumble and find me over there. So as a boxing analogy, you're guaranteed to win your money, because Uncle Sam said years ago when you signed that contract, hey, we're going to do things together that are different than anybody else, and I'm going to give you money. You just have to do paperwork. So you hear me use analogies about packets. You hear me use analogies about one rope bridge, because if you think about it, every time that you want to get from one spot to another, there's a one rope bridge. Not only have I walked that one rope bridge myself, but I also helped over 3,000 of you walk those as well. So it's not that hard, but it is, like one woman said not too long ago, And she said, Albert, if I'm hearing you correctly, you're the treasure hunter who knows where our money is. You've got the treasure map, you've got the guide, and you tell us where it is, where our money is, what order to put it in, and you help us not overthink it, not underthink it. And I said, yep, it's about right. It's about right. Because it does, I do want you guys to start with me and stay with me. So that's great. So yeah. And again, you have a team with me. So when you guys, although I don't have direct connections to lawyers and doctors and stuff like that, the VA does require 3 levels of evidence. I'm just saying the VA, but most government entities don't require like medical evidence, right? So like for property taxes or for your money, for your kids going to school or something like that, for let's say, I don't say GI Bill or whatever, but you don't always have to go see a doctor, but there's times where the VA, the government, forces you to provide a packet with at most 3, let's call it 3 levels of evidence. There's administrative evidence that I call it. So administrative evidence, which is paperwork, form numbers. There's medical evidence, which I'll call feeding. So I usually talk about feeding the VA, not fighting the VA. There is a time to fight them, so I'm getting there. So there's feeding the VA with medical evidence, and there's fighting the VA. So fighting the VA is with veterans' rights attorneys. So again, although I don't provide veterans' rights attorneys, so I don't want to confuse you guys, my clients are now being represented by at least 3 different veterans' rights attorneys out there who can also get in the ring and represent you guys and make life easier on you guys, and also call out BS when it's necessary. Let me explain. Let's say, let me use a cop analogy here. Let's say you're walking across the street and all of a sudden cop cars show up and they surround you and they say, you look like a bad guy, we're looking for, hands behind your back. They have to Mirandize you. Even if you're like, hey, I'm not that guy. You're like, the cops go, well, until further notice, hands behind your back. And I'm not a cop, so I don't know all the details, so correct me if I'm wrong. But my clients are all kinds of levels of cops and stuff, so they'll tell me. But cops have to Mirandize you. If they're putting the cuffs on you, they have to say, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. Anything you say can and will be used against you. And there's other stuff, but that's Mirandizing you. Crazy thing is, the government, the VA especially, does not have to Mirandize you. What does that mean? I call them trapdoors. Just for an example, again, let's say you're filing a VA claim. When you file it online, you seal it. You say it's, in essence, a perfect claim. And here's what happens all the time. As soon as you file a claim, let's say you file a claim online. So don't worry about the form number, it'll be at the top of it. So you file a claim. Now the VA is supposed to make by their own, this is why I like lawyers. I'm not a lawyer again, so keep that in mind. But the lawyers, they know the law and they know protocol. Protocol means what the VA does. So, and like Dan Bongino and many others out there say that people are policy. So people do stuff that's creepy and they don't follow really, but that creates like a policy. So, and again, I go off of what the VA does. What I mean by does is what they pay. I know that you should get paid. Let me go back to let me put this down for a second. I'll pick that back up. Let me go back to, before I finish that analogy, let me tell you about 2 other things. Because when I hear you guys tell me something, it tells me that you don't know what you're talking about, which is exactly what the government wants. So let me tell you 2 things real quick. With my clients, by the time I'm done with you, at least two things have happened. One, you've gotten all your money in your pocket. For a non-retiree like me, it's about just shy of $5,000. Basic family of 4, every time I explain that, so don't let me forget that. Basic family of 4, every month you should have $5,000 from Uncle Sugar. You don't. Okay. Now keep in mind, once you get to 100%, it is an avalanche. When you're 100% permanent total like me, it's an avalanche of other money out there, which I'll get to as well. So non-retiree, basic family of 4, just shy of $5,000 a month tax-free. For a retiree, you're looking at $7,500 a month because you guys qualify for $2,000 more a month, which is called CRSC. You also, everybody out there qualifies for SMCS. I receive SMCS. So, and I help my clients get SMCS. You don't know what it is, and I'm happy to explain to you. There's other videos on Rumble that I fully explain that. So, second thing I help you guys do is by the time I'm done with you, your VA individual ratings math, human math, adds up to over 500. So I'm 100% for mental health alone. Let's say 100 plus 50 for sinuses, 50 for headaches. You got 200, right? So that's what I do is I help you guys get that human math over 500. And I know you guys aren't out there going, yeah, I've got that. I've got my money in my pocket and I'm there. I briefed tens of thousands of veterans, and that's why I put this in the description below, that not one of you, when I see you on camera, when I see you in person, you guys may bebop over to me and go, yeah, man, I'm permanent total, brother. I'm good. And then I go, can I tell you two things real quick? Are you getting this amount of money in your pocket right now? And are you at 500 or above? Every single person, unfortunately, and that's why I'm here, because I'm here to care. I'm never a guy who's going to give you a problem without a solution, okay? Every time. It takes the wind out of their sails. And I'm not here to deflate you. I'm here to actually inflate you and tell you, okay, I know. But now you got a team to work with you, and let's get that money in your pocket. So back to my analogy. When you file a claim online, it is sealed, and the VA is supposed to make a decision protocol. And I don't want to call it law, but because I don't know if it is a law. Protocol is that the VA is supposed to make a decision based off the evidence that you provide in that sealed claim. And then they'll call you in for a C&P exam. And this is if you're out there doing it all by yourself. Okay. So I'm just telling you, this is what happens. They call you in, VA calls you in, or it's really one of three other entities out there that will call you in. It'll be LHI, QTC, or VES. LHI is so bad they had changed their name. So if that tells you anything. But they'll call you in for a C&P exam. And let's say you're going in for a service connection, because there's two types of claims. There's service connection, which you've never done anything. VA may call it a new claim. Or there's increase. So one goal of service connection is getting that body part or title. Body part is like left elbow. Title is like anxiety, mental health stuff. You're trying to get a title onto your I used to say e-benefits, because for a decade, the past decade, it was on e-benefits. Now the VA finally put it over on va.gov. So it's VA individual ratings. One goal from a service connection is to get that body part or title onto your individual rating with some positive human math. Even zero is human math, so that's a positive. I call it getting on base, baseball analogies. So I have to use sports analogies because it's like the only thing that makes sense. I can't explain corruption and evil. I can't define it. I just know when I see it, so I have to use baseball and other sport analogies or whatever other analogies to go, okay, that's what that means. Get on base. You're just trying to get on base. Increasing is where I call it swinging for the fences. But before you hit a grand slam, you have to load the bases. That's what I used to talk about. And I don't want to get too off the rails there, but so let's say you're filing a claim for new body parts. And the VA says, hey, come in for let's say you're putting in for your neck and your back. So you file a claim for your neck and your back, and inside your packet, you've got medical evidence from a doctor that's outside of the VA. So they put that in there. You put that in there, okay? Well, the VA calls you in through third parties, and they immediately tell you to bring in other paperwork. And no kidding, this is something that happened recently, and I just need you guys to know this, that even if you're going in for a C&P exam for stuff that doesn't have to do with blood, no kidding, the VA is saying, or at least for clients of mine, the VA has called them in and said, hey, I know you're showing up for your neck and your back at noon, but show up a couple minutes early for blood draw. What the hell? So which by the way, as soon as you file a claim, when the VA starts reaching out to you, telling you to come in for stuff, I call that harassment. So as soon as the VA starts harassing you, that's one of the better times to go chat with a veterans rights attorney. But talk to me first. I would highly recommend that first to make sure that your packet is what it should be. And a lot of folks, too many folks, I'm just going to say all of you out there, try to do it the wrong way. So you overthink it, you underthink it, and I'm going to talk about trapdoors here in a second. So trapdoors. So VA starts harassing you, and they start telling you about trapdoors. These are really checkpoints, but they're trapdoors. Okay, so the VA goes, hey, we see you're coming in on whatever tomorrow for your CUP exam. Bring in extra forms and stuff like this. And when you walk in the door, they say, sign here, sign in, let's get blood draw, sign in. let's have you sign this. Even one of my clients, one of the third party groups said, do you want a chaperone in the room? If you do, sign here. And he goes, no, I'm good. And he goes, oh, no, well then sign here. You know what these attorneys out there say? Don't sign anything. With my clients, I tell you guys, I want to lock in your appealability. So even if you, I want to make sure, because the government, especially the government, VA, they're always looking for perfection, therefore imperfections. With my clients, I want to call out imperfections early so that by the time that you get to this step of filing a claim, that you're filing perfection and sealing into perfection. Now, again, let's imagine you're all by yourself. You haven't heard my guidance and you filed a claim for your neck and your back. You sealed it because that's what it says. This is when you file the claim, it says, are you calling this a completed claim? Means it's fully sealed up, and the VA is supposed to make a decision based off the evidence that you've provided in this. But then what happens? They start calling you up and saying, hey, come in for blood draw and come in for x-rays and come in to talk to us, and I call it trapdoors. They just start setting out all these trapdoors. Why do they do that? What they're doing is, the unfortunate reality is what they're doing is they are trying to get you to, I know I've been standing like this for the longest time. This is sealed. They're trying to get you to unseal something all the way back to the 80s, the 90s, the 70s, whatever. And that's in the fine print they don't tell you about. Here's why they don't tell you about it. They don't tell you about it because they don't have to. They don't have to Mirandize you. The VA and others who are working, who have the authority to tell you no to your money, which is disgusting. Those little fellas, as I call them something else, but little fellas on YouTube, those little fellas who have an 8th grade reading level and the authority to screw up your life, they can mess with you in all different ways, and they don't have to tell you, Mirandize you about it. They don't have to say, hey, I know you filed a perfect claim and you sealed it, but anyway, I don't get into the weeds, but you can imagine the man, I'm really trying to be family friendly here. This is where words start really popping out of my mouth. You can imagine the amount of frustration you're going to have, and when you start talking to them in a way, and it happens all the time. The evil folks that are part of that system, and I know there's good people in there, guys. I'm not saying that the entire system or every single person at the VA is a demon or whatever, but I'm saying that the system itself is evil. I don't know the definition of art. I know it when I see it. I don't know the definition of evil, but I know it when I see it. And I'm going to tell you some more stats here in a second to showcase this. But as soon as you walk in the door, even before you walk in the door, they're telling you to come over here and sign stuff and get blood and all this other kind of crap that's not even required. You filed your claim. They're supposed to make a decision based off that. Does that sound right to you? It doesn't. I know I'm going fast right there, but I know you guys. I don't say something without knowing what the hell you already feel. I hope that's a good word. Okay. All right. So they try to, they don't have to Mirandize you. And they don't have to tell you that they're trying to set you up for failure. Because let me go back to this example here. Most of you are being taught out there that you can walk. You guys ever play this game with your kids? You walk up to your kid and go, okay, which hand, right? So same thing with let's say with the VA. There's 2 types of medical evidence. There's fresh medical evidence on the old tattoo side, fresh medical evidence, and there's old evidence. You walk in the door. Let's just say you're doing this by yourself. So you think that that's the way that it's supposed to be. Let me walk in with some fresh evidence and some old evidence. Well, here's what can happen. And here's what does happen. If you don't believe me, check your bank account. Check your buddy's bank account. Are they getting paid? So keep that in mind. You walk in the door and the government goes, oh, what do you got there, little buddy? And you go, well, in this hand, I've got fresh evidence that you asked for. In this hand, I've got some old stuff that you didn't really ask for, but I think it's going to help me in my case here, in my claim. Case means legal stuff. So I'm going to correct the record there. It's going to be a claim. And the VA goes, oh, well, shoot, let me see that. I'd like to see that old stuff first. And you go, oh, awesome, federal government. You're asking me to see something. I'm a good little trooper. There you go. And the government goes, denied. And they deny you immediately. And you're like, wait a minute, I got fresh stuff here. No, you've already been denied. You're a no-go at the station. Get the fuck out. I knew I was going to do that. I'm not going to last long on YouTube. telling you, man, I'm not gonna last long on YouTube. I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm trying, guys. I'm just trying to meet you where you are. That's why I'm here. Go to Rumble. You're gonna see me talk even truer to you. And I know I'm on my own little frequency, but man, okay. Going back to this, what the VA is asking you for is what the VA makes decisions based off of. When you seal your claim, you want to put fresh medical evidence in there because that's the minimum requirement for maximum effectiveness. Okay, one shot, one kill. The VA doesn't want you to know that. The VA is not going to tell you that. I'm going to tell you that, and I'm going to take you through the whole process. I want you to start with me and stay with me. It doesn't matter, guys. Imagine how the world would be if, just for an example, from 1990 on, that the VA had no authority to tell you no to your money. Let's say they're more of a guidance counselor. So they're saying something like, "Hey, little trooper, I'm glad you are entering into your service as an enlisted person, and you're going to basic training. You're going to pay X dollars to GI Bill for the first year. Let me tell you what that means. Let me tell you when you can use it. Let me tell you what else you can do with it. You're also, since you're signing the dotted line here and you're heading into basic, you, at this point in time, after whatever it is, like 6 months, 9 months, I don't know, first year, you can start using your VA home loan. And then you can get on a path of entrepreneurship where you buy a house and then you end up making money off of moving and keeping your house and all that kind of stuff. And you're going to be a lot better off with that. And then once you're to the point of these other things, when you want to use your GI Bill, or you want to use your, I know it's not called VOC rehab anymore, it's called VRNE, but I just use the simpler terms that roll off the tongue faster. So things like VOC rehab. And I haven't even really talked about things like, I just had a guy on my podcast the other day, and we were talking about the caregivers. So caregivers and just things that, anyway, just jumping in my head. So I'm trying to say it while I can. So it kind of puts a hook in, and you guys go, caregiver, what's that about? So, but imagine that. Imagine if they walked you through and said, "Hey, here's where that money is for. Here's how you get the property taxes over there. By the way, anytime when you leave, let's say they're going to go straight comp and pen, and they're not going to do the whole disability thing. They're going to say compensation and pension. When you walk out the door, you're going to get this big, massive check that says thank you for your service," which is what you actually signed it online for years and years ago or decades ago. And you're going to get this big check. There's other stuff out there too. You guys probably don't know this. Let's see what else I got on my wheel of money. You guys probably don't know about that. Unfortunately, you have to be 100% permanent total for the majority, to maximize the majority of the money that's out there. 100% permanent total for property tax removal and reduction. Most states have a reduction. Some states like Texas, California, Florida, Nebraska, to name a few, have a complete removal at 100% permanent total. And most of my clients come to me these days that are about my age, where it's like, "Oh man, I don't really care about this whole disability thing. I do care about the property taxes and the kids in college stuff. Holy crap." Because like a colonel said to me the other day, he said, "Albert, I got twin girls in high school right now that are juniors." That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. So property taxes, imagine if you didn't pay property taxes, because these are things that you sit around your kitchen table and you're like, "Man, I feel like something's wrong. I'm not receiving money that I'm supposed to receive. I feel like my buddies don't pay for property taxes. I feel like my buddies are getting paid $5,000 a month tax-free. I feel like my buddies who have access to that then can go to get extra, like let's say VOC rehab, to pay for me. I always say I've got 2 master's degrees just to make it easier. I didn't finish the second one because I started doing what I do now and I love doing it. So I found my dream job. I just walked away from it. But my second master's degree was being paid for by VOC rehab. Now I was denied twice before accepted third time. I've got clients who've had worse. I've got a client, Elijah, who was denied 4 times for his VOC rehab for a master's degree, and then finally approved a 5th time. That is stupid. And that's why now my clients have veterans rights attorneys who can help get in the ring and say, "VA, stop doing that crap. Stop doing that. Give this guy his money and stop that. Stop all the harassment." What else is I going to say about that? Okay, once you get, what you don't know too is that when you rack up student loans, there's a program that's been around since the 90s. Trump's the one who signed it in to be automatic. But once you get to 100% permanent total, your student loans all get wiped off your record. And it's a process that takes a couple of months, but it's a back and forth between the VA, all in the same building. They literally walk across the hall and go talk to the Department of Education. And the Department of Ed will send you a message saying, hey, are these your student loans? It's like an audit, but in a good way. Are these your student loans that we've got that you agree with? And for me, I had over $180,000 of student loans. I've got clients out there who are lawyers, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, oh my gosh, all kinds of stuff, sheriffs, all this kind of stuff. And they don't know this. They don't know this. Even yesterday, I talked to an older guy, and he's an academy grad. His son is an academy grad. His daughter's an academy grad. His daughter's husband is an academy grad. And I know academies usually you guys don't pay the student loans, but I'm just saying they didn't even know this stuff. And I know you guys don't know that's why I'm here. As a medevac pilot, you're popping red smoke, and I'm going to talk about that before I get off the horn with you here. But you guys are out there popping red smoke, and I see you, and I'm meeting you where you are. That's why I'm on this right now. So, and that's why I'll continue to be on here. Looks like Monday through Friday. I think everything's working the way I wanted it to. So I'm comfortable on, I know what buttons to press on Rumble. So this is the first time playing with this one. So that's why I'm giving you a little bit more juice in this one too, just to really get the hooks in. All right. What else is I going to say? So yeah, you guys have to do a packet every time that you're aiming for that money. And again, the great news is with me and my clients that you guys are with me. Start with me, stay with me. You're with me for years. You're with me. You're with my staff. Even better than that, you're with each other. You're on camera. You're trading information. You're trading personal information. You're trading problems and solutions. And here's what I said for this, and here's what I said for that. And of course, I'm the one guiding the end result. Make sure everybody's happy to the best of the ability at the end of our time together each time. But I call it baseball and batting practices. So I'm out in front of my clients all the time, and I'm going to bring this back to you guys. The reason why I'm here too is because, unfortunately, over 135,000 veterans every single month are popping red smoke. Let me explain this. And I'm going to slow down here because I really want this to make an impact on you. Because it makes an impact on me, and it's real. It's real. And I am here to tell you the truth. So I've got two marketing firms. I always want to say firms. Two marketing agencies who have confirmed this. I know you guys are most of the time you're silent professionals, so you don't do the whole like, share, subscribe stuff and comment below kind of thing. But you are still Googling for things. And I've been here for 6 years. I just found this out. That's why I'm so just blown away by this number. 135,000 of you every single month are Googling for a VA calculator. Tell you what I know. What you don't know when you press the Google monster is you pop red smoke over your head and you're looking down. You don't know you just popped red smoke online. The government knows, Google knows, the marketing people out there know, and now I know, and now you know. So now you have to do something about it. So I'm going to tell you to do something every day. I'm always going to tell you to do something every day. So it means 4 things. When you pop, by the way, for you folks out there who don't know what red smoke means that you are, by the way, that's what my symbols have been there for years. So when you guys pop red smoke, that means it's real world. So even if you're in training or just messing around out there and something happens, little Johnny's hurt out on the range, they're going to pop red smoke. Hey, medevac, real world, little Johnny's down. He's hurt. Medevac comes in and we go where you are, pick you up and take you to a higher level of care. That's me in a nutshell. Thankfully, I'm not being shot at anymore. And by the way, I don't make me over speak this and say, well, I don't want to scare you off and say, well, Albert only works with the deadliest humans on earth. No, I work with everybody. So, and I've got a menu that shows that I've removed the barrier, and I'll talk about that here in a second. I don't get too far ahead of myself, but I just want to make sure I'm laying the groundwork the right way so you guys know what I'm telling you. 135,000 of you every single month are popping red smoke online typing for a VA calculator. That tells me 4 things at a minimum: that you are lost, you're alone, you don't know what your next step is, you don't know who to turn to. In the military, we'd call that something I can't say on YouTube, but it starts with F and ends with uct, right? What does the government tell you when you're in the service? Don't be these 4 things. Don't be any of these 4 things, but damn sure don't be all of them together. But that's what you guys are, because unfortunately, like one of my clients said, you get to a point with your service where the government just dumps you out, and they go, okay, well, this isn't a cell phone, but they go, here's a cell phone. It's got good comm. It's got good internet. Bye. And then just drive away. So now you're out there Googling for this calculator, because all you're doing is trying to figure out where the heck you are in space and time. I get it. I was at 90%, by the way, for 5 years. I didn't know. Let me talk about pay chart. In the military, you know a pay chart. I'm going to go through this fast, so rewind it if you need me to say it differently, hear it differently. In the military, we know about pay charts. We know E4, E5, 5 years, family of 4. That's what I should get paid, right? Do you know I had to create my own pay chart for the VA? Have you ever seen an actual pay chart? Nope. You guys always come to me confused as Dickens because you don't know what this is where I use a lot of words. Oh my gosh. You don't know what I know. And I'm softly telling you this because I care so much to be here. And I care that my buddies and brothers out there are being robbed by the government. Again, evil, I don't know the definition of evil. I just know it when I see it. And let me give you a horrible stat too. There's over 20 million veterans and service members who are not getting paid their money, to include Gold Star families and widows and stuff like this. Yeah, that's pretty evil. You know, that adds up to about $100 billion a month. 100 billion. I'm going to say it slower. 20 million veterans and service members. Feel free to Google this and check my numbers if you'd like. I'm being nice, by the way. That's over 100 billion a month. 100 billion a month. Okay, back to this. 135,000 of you every month popping red smoke. And I see it and I know it. Now I'm going to tell you good news is that I'm here. And when opportunity knocks, you have to answer. When opportunity knocks, answer, and help your buddies out too. Help your buddies out. You have to. And I'm not going to do a screen share with you today, but I'll do it on another time. I did it on Rumble if you want to see this, but I talk you through pay charts that I had to create because they're not created out there. And I'm going to talk to you about my website and tell you about a couple of the extra things today too. So 135,000 of you every month are Googling for VA calculator. I am your guide. I want you to start with me and stay with me. Do one thing. Go to my website. Start there. Go to my website. On my website, as you scroll down, you'll find a video that says step 1, pay yourself first. Start with that. Pay yourself first. That means get your back pay clock started. Then it's going to tell you other stuff. Start working with me. I call it guaranteed loss. Evil loves when you do nothing, because when you do nothing, they win. Don't believe me? Check your bank account. Do you see $5,000 in there? Because guess what? If I pulled my phone out right now, what's today? / yesterday. Payday from Uncle Sugar. I got mine. My clients get theirs. You're not getting yours, but it is yours. So I'm just meeting you where you are. Opportunity is knocking. I need you to do something. And I've got other screens. That's what I'm pointing at. Other screen. Go to my website. Go to my website. Very, very simple. Go to my website. Step 1, pay yourself first. I also need you to start sending your buddies. Do not wait. Once you get to my website, you're going to see my triple campaign. My triple campaign is, number 1, that I have removed the, I don't like to be salesy, but I like that this woman said, Albert, there's that many veterans out there. You unfortunately are going to need to stack them deep by selling them cheap. So I've removed the barrier for you guys, because unfortunately too, a lot of you guys you'll come to me and be like, oh, well, Albert's too expensive. And Albert, can't you have a better option for us? And what you don't know is that my menu is based off of what you guys have asked for. And that's why now I've got 6 menu items, and I'm going to say it quickly. I've got rich people who go, Albert, the money makes sense. I don't like to do a lot of paperwork. I'll pay you this amount of money right now, and let's do this. Okay, that's fine for them. You guys are all married to money differently, and I don't need you to explain your relationship with money with me. I'm not going to explain mine. So, again, I'm meeting you where you are. So this woman said, stack them deep by selling them cheap. So the number one on my triple campaign is I now have a $1,000 option. It's an option. You don't have to go with it. Because a $1,000 option for the first year of working with me. I want you to start with me and stay with me. Too often, you guys talk yourself out of it, and that's exactly what it is. So let me just tell you how it is, guys. I'm nice enough to tell you that I care to tell you something to your face and have a hard conversation with you. I'm not trying to win. I'm not trying to got you. Okay, I'm not that guy. I'm here to help you get your money that you've earned in your pocket. That's what my job is. I'm holding one finger up for a reason because I don't want to lose my place. Too many times you guys have come to me and go, oh, well, after talking to Albert, talking to my buddies, you're just too expensive and I can't do it. And then you guys come back, unfortunately, months or even years later. Some of you guys are still flapping out there, and you're going to come back when you find out about the $1,000 amount. But you're like, hey, you know what? I can't do this right now. But then you come back years later. Unfortunately, I've seen it. And you guys come back with your teeth kicked in emotionally. And you're like, man, I should have worked with you in the first place. Man, my buddy went through. We were going to do it buddy style. And my buddy went through and he's already out the other end. And he's got a lot of money and I don't. So I'm just saying, guys, don't do that. And I don't like that either. It hurts my heart. Believe it or not, I'm a really nice guy. And I care enough to be here and help you out with this. So number one of my triple campaign, I now offer a $1,000 amount for the first year. Okay. Removes the barrier. Get in there. And I call it a trust ticket. Learn from me. Learn to trust my process. You'll see. Second part is just telling you more about the details. 135,000 of you are looking for, or pop and smoke, looking for your VA calculator. Third part is I need you guys to help me. And like Bongino talks about more. There's 135,000 of you. I don't have 135,000 of you as clients every month, but you're out there. So you're popping smoke. I see it. Opportunity is knocking. I need you to see me. Okay. We need to get together. I'm not going to try to convince you to get on the bird. All right. I'm taking you to a higher level of care. Let's do this. I've got I always want to call it a ticker because it's not. It's a scoreboard. It's a scoreboard that's on my website too. And you're going to see that continue to count. My goal is more. We have to start with, even though there's 20 million of you out there who have earned money that the government is not giving to you, we have to start with you guys. Share, subscribe, take screenshots. when you'll see my, I call it a one pager. You'll see the flyer that you can take a screenshot of it. You can just tap on your buddy. I know you guys may not do all the whole liking, sharing, subscribing, texting each other and all that kind of stuff, all that much. But you know people. Get off your butt every day and go see people and identify, who they are. And whether you know them or not, walk up to them and be like, hey, man, this is my old card. I've got new ones that are coming in. But you're like, hey, man, this is the guy. Take a picture of it. Or just even take a picture of me, this thing. Or even better than that thing, because it's got the .com at the bottom. FulfilledVeteranProject.com. That's me. Okay, there you go. I'm making it as easy on you as possible. So keep sending me more and more people. My goal is to get to the first 1,000 in 2025. We're not there yet. And my scoreboard, which it doesn't look the way I want it to, and I need to have my marketing people do some tweaks to it so I can make better changes. Usually on your website, you want to talk about good things. On this scoreboard, I want to talk about bad things because I'm telling you guys, it's an accountability tool for us. I am opportunity. I'm talking to you. I'm knocking right now. You guys have to answer the door. You guys have to help your buddy out because I wear this all the time. And although I don't have like my own t-shirt on underneath, yesterday I went running and I had a hat on. I have a koozie with me and what else? I had a jacket thing. And so this is my suit every day, my armor every day. And I need you guys to help me. I need force multipliers. I need people out there who can Like I can't fly every medevac mission myself. I have to be able to shoot, move, communicate. If veterans only help veterans, truthfully, if veterans only help veterans, I need your help. Nobody else is going to do it for us. Why? Because they're not doing it. There's a song lyric that I keep going to. It says something like, scream for change while staying the same. I've been here for 6 years. I've hosted Town Hall Tuesday for almost 2 years now, where I'm on camera out in front of you guys. I've hosted, I don't know how many videos I've got out there now. Now I'm doing live stuff on YouTube. I've got live on Rumble Monday through Friday. I'm here, guys. I'm here. So if anybody out there goes, well, Albert's not around and he makes us watch videos and stuff. No, Albert is here in a recorded setting, a live setting for a certain part for my clients. And you guys need to show up. That's why I talk about when there's 3 levels of paying me. There's a contract, there's an invoice, and there's your participation. And I beat it over their head about the participation part. You have to participate. You can't just, with the government does not allow, doesn't anybody ever go to the bank and just say, hey, I'm not going to fill anything out, but give me money. Does that work? I don't know if that's legal. Don't try that. Don't do that. Don't do that. The bank thing. I don't think that's legal. So consult your attorney before doing that. Don't walk into a bank and just put your hand out and go, don't do that. You have to do paperwork. But that's what you guys think. Too often you guys, no matter who you are, you try to overthink something or underthink it. And then I'm just like, does that work anywhere? Really? Is that what you do with your house payment or car payment or something like that? Like you can't, guys, come on. I'm going to help massage your brain and go, don't do that. Keep sending me more and more people. My scoreboard is a negative that we're not doing this together. I'm here. I'm knocking. Answer the daggum door. Go get your buddies. Send them to my website. Do one thing. Send them to my website. And I know you guys have, I call them airborne personalities. Some of you, I've heard it too often. Albert, I'm going to go through this and then I'm going to send my people. Do not do that. Here's why. Because by the time I get to your people, guess what they say about you? What the F, man? Why didn't you tell me about this before? How many times do you think I've heard that over 6 years and over $10 billion delivered to the best and deadliest humans on earth? Too many times. Don't leave your buddy on the battlefield as you fly away. That doesn't create a good relationship, okay, with your buddy. Send them to my website. And what you'll see on my website too is I'm going to tell you about 4 forms, interest forms. And these are in no particular order, but I want you guys to know about this. I have a podcast that I do. I have a long form podcast every Friday on Rumble. And it is not live, but it's a podcast for veterans. And we don't sit there and talk, hey, no shit, there was kind of stories. It's about helping you guys. And of course we have stories that backfill that. So you guys need to get on my podcast. Love you, have you on my podcast. There's another interest form about force multipliers. Force multipliers are 1099 contractors with me who go get commissions by bringing other people to me and all that kind of stuff. And so I hate to say the word if, those of you interested in that, and make sure you guys are sharing that with your other people out there. There is another one that talks about a partnership. So partnerships are things like you may be an individual who is just super surrounded, super passionate. Maybe you don't have like a business or anything, but you're just super passionate about sending people my way. And let's talk about that. Could be an individual, could be a business, that kind of thing. And I make these like figure 8 mental notes of, I want you to be in my podcast and be a partner, or partner makes sense to be on my podcast and be a force multiplier. So it's up to you guys. I'm giving you just, again, I call it yes and. Why not? I like working with good people, and that's part of my book series coming out too. Anyway, I don't get too far off on that. The last one I want to tell you about on the forums are the veteran community outreach. So what this is, I've been around long enough doing this that I know there's small coffee groups out there that you guys meet maybe once a month, and it may just be a handful of you, but you're massive players. There's gigantic things like Salesforce has VetForce. I need to be in front of you guys. Have somebody fill out that interest form, because, and these interest forms, by the way, are not massive amounts of information. They're just really just like, what did you do in the service and what do you want to do now by helping this? What's your goal here? That's it. You don't have to overshare. I just need to be in front of your people. Your people need to know what I know. Once they know what I know, and I don't call this being salesy, I just tell them how it is. When you went in the service, you knew you were signing a contract. You knew that there was money, but then the government just dumps you out of your service and they give you a cell phone with good comms, and that's about it. And you guys Google for where am I in life? And you don't even know. You don't even know those next 4 steps. Okay. So now you know. Opportunity's knocking, and open the door, guys, which leads me to my final point. Take action every day. Do something every day. Share this video. Share it with your buddies. Take a screenshot of it. Take a screenshot of that right there.com, thefulveteranproject.com. Send that to your buddy. Do whatever you need to do. Tap on your buddy's shoulder. Walk around the airport. Tap on people there. I don't care. Walk around the zoo. Tap on people there. Whatever you need to do to get your buddies to me. Just send them one place. My website. I want them to start with me and stay with me. I want you to start with me, stay with me. My clients stay with me for years because you guys that stick around and have hard conversations and we grow through that. It's massively awesome. It's massively awesome. It's the abundance that we were promised by our Father. Okay. Do something every day, guys. I'm doing something every day. I'm out here in front of you guys on camera. I don't like being on camera. I don't want to do this. I want to work myself out of business. There's 20 million of you out there and your family, so I couldn't even imagine the actual real number of amount of money, the amount of people, and the amount of hurt. That's why this is called the fulfilled veteran, not the, well, let me see what I can do. I call it blind punting. Let me see how far I can kick that. I'm a winner. I never quit on my clients. I fired clients because they're being jerks to my staff and me and my other clients, and my nice clients appreciate that. But boxing analogy, I have never thrown in the white towel and quit for a client. You guys have quit. I'm sorry if that's a you problem, not Albert problem. And I'm like, I hate to say it that way because I do care enough about you guys, but like, I can't drag you around. I can't convince you to get in the bird. And if you want to have a pity party and whatever, I can't. Sorry, man. I can't do it. I can't watch and wait you. I can only tell you that I'm here. But you have to do something. When I'm knocking, you have to open the door in order to get my help. And this is a together thing. So it's team effort. You got to put your effort into it. We can't carry you. All right, gang, this was good. And I hope all the buttons that I hit here in a second go the way I want, because this is not like Rumble. So, but by the way, go check me out on Rumble too, guys. Make sure you're follow me over there and get involved on that as well. And because that's a place that I can actually talk a lot more real with you. And like even the Whitehouse says now that we are in charge now. We are the media. That's why I'm out in front of you. I'm like a good medevac pilot. I'm where I'm out. I'm where you are. I'm meeting you where you are. And it isn't easy. I'm telling you, nobody wants my job. You don't want to do my job. And I've done my job for 6 years and delivered over $10 billion to you deadly humans out there. And I go to events where you guys are. So if you're asking, well, Albert's too expensive. Albert's hated. He's got a lot of hate mail out there. I don't care. When I go, I don't care. Who doesn't? You have ex-girlfriends, ex-wives? I do. I don't care. I just keep moving forwards. When I go to these events with you guys, it's you guys going, oh, Albert, you life-changing MFR. Come here. Hugs. Guys, you need to know about Albert. So I'll be I'm trying to get down to some soft events. There's some Florida events that I go to. Destin, late February. There's used to be called Heli Expo, something else in Dallas this year. Soft week in May, and all that kind of stuff too. So I'm just going to continue being where you guys are, guys. So, all right, I'm going to jump, and this is good first session, and I'm going to make sure that I do this Monday through Friday, and we'll lock in a time, and appreciate you guys watching this far. Keep it up. I'll see you next time, guys.